Good Time Gaming.
What's up guys, Saxon the Good Time Gaming, and today I'm bringing you guys my top 10 list for my favorite heists in Payday 2. We've had a lot of content added in almost 3 years of heisting, and there have been some really good heists and some kind of boring and uninspired ones. In presenting these 10 heists today, I'm not by any means saying these are the 10 best heists for any reason in particular. These are just 10 that I really enjoy and that I keep on coming back to even after all this time playing. Let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is the Biker Heist. The most recently released heist. This heist takes us to the clubhouse of the Overkill MC, a ruthless crew of bikers that has managed to somehow obtain a secret weapon that has thought control, mind powers with drones and stuff. It's kind of crazy. Oh, and they also have Ron Perlman's bike. Can't have that shit happening. I like how this heist has several different combinations of possible objectives in day one, tasking you with getting any combination of an engine, exhaust pipes, a decorative skull, a seat, special parts from the mechanic, or escorting him to the mechanic shop in order to be able to do some work there. Whichever set of RNG you get, the heist will definitely be a little bit different each time, and I like variety and possibilities. This heist can also be fairly challenging. Did I mention you get to ride motorcycles? Well, they handle like shit basically, so don't get too excited about that. In day 2, you also get to get on a train, so the train's moving as you're trying to run to the very front of the train to get the special part and then escape with it, and go back the way you came. Not too hard to do on Overkill and all those difficulties, but on Death Wish, sometimes it gets pretty brutal. And I like brutal. Number 9 is Birth of Sky. If you saw my most recent top 5 DLC list, I included this heist in that list as part of the Point Break heist, which this is a part of. This heist starts you out in a cargo plane, tasking you with kicking some pallets of money out the back of the plane and then parachuting down to the ground after them. What I like the most about this heist is the varied environments and the pacing of it. You start out in the plane, everything's really breakneck speed, get through there, shoot the money out, hop out, you run around on the ground, getting the money bundles together, fighting off the cops, then you're going through the sewers, escaping, and then getting out on a boat. I like it. It's a fast-paced heist, you're constantly moving, trying to go to different places. It's just fun from start to finish. Number 8 is Firestarter, an old one but a classic one. One of but a handful of Day 3 heists, Firestarter launched as part of the base Payday 2 experience, having both a pro and non-pro version. In this heist, Hector tasked the Payday crew with stealing or destroying weapons from the Mendoza cartel on Day 1. Things go south pretty quickly and the Payday crew has to bug out. Day 2 tasks us with getting a server, or 2 servers for playing on Death Wish, that has important information on it. It comes from an FBI field office, so what could possibly happen bad there, right? Day 2 can either be taken stealthily or you can go in loud. Just be sure to check the evidence room for some extra tasty loot. And a tasty goat. Day 3 puts you into essentially a carbon copy of Bank Heist. Again, take it stealthy or go in loud. There's a huge stack of cash in the vault, but you'll have to burn it and then leave with the recording because Hector wants it. If any of this doesn't make sense, play the Hoxton Revenge heist and it'll make a little bit more sense after that. Number 7 is Hotline Miami. Based loosely on the Hotline Miami game series, this heist has the Payday crew going after the Commissar. The Commissar must be killed in order for the dentist to pull some strings to enable the Payday crew to break Hoxton out of jail. Day 1 sends you to the Commissar's rundown hotel to comb the place for information as to his whereabouts. You'll find extra loot here too, including bags of cash and weapons. For those of you aspiring chemists out there, you can also cook up some meth. Snipers can be shitheads here, so watch out for that. Day 2 sends you into another building that is probably in violation of about a half a dozen building codes. Make your way through the shitty building and up to the top. You might run into this fine gentleman along the way who needs your help. At the top, blow open the doors, wait for the safe, and shoot the Commissar's ass into the ground. Bag the coke and the money and fly off into the sunset. Moving right along and into number 6, we have Hoxton Breakout. Following hot on the heels of Hotline Miami, in this heist, the Payday crew is tasked with breaking Hoxton out of prison. For newer players, let me get you up to speed on this, okay? 3 years ago, whenever Payday 2 came out, we had 4 original heisters: Dallas, Chains, Hoxton, and Wolf. These 4 characters were in the first game, but they were a little bit different. They underwent some revisions going into the new game, such as having different voice actors or modified character models. Most people didn't really give a shit about this, but there was a small but vocal community that really had an issue with the fact that Hoxton was essentially recasted. The new Hoxton was presented as Dallas's brother, and not the British Hoxton from the original game, and thus the story went that the switch was because the British Hoxton in the first game was sent to prison and thus unable to continue heisting with the Payday crew. As the community continued to grow and rally behind bringing back old Hoxton, Overkill decided to make it happen, and so the old Hoxton took back his old mantle as Hoxton, and then the current Hoxton, or the original Payday 2 Hoxton, became known as Houston. If that's kind of confusing, then sorry. In Day 1, you break out Hoxton and you escort him into a truck through dangerous streets, making sure to keep your head low. In day 2, you break right into the headquarters of the fucking FBI. Not reckless at all, right? Hoxton needs info on who sent him to prison and who betrayed him. This is another heist that has a lot of possibilities to it. You may need the director's codes at his desk, info from forensics, papers from the archives, or a server. There's also a variety of key cards allowing you to open up secondary objectives, such as having the infirmary to access, an armory with ammo, and you can also use to lock down doors to keep enemies from getting close to you. I love heists that give you options, and this is definitely one of them, and it's a great one. At number 5, we have First World Bank, a classic heist proudly brought into the new world of Payday 2. This was the first heist remade as part of the infamous Crime Fest 2015. This heist saw the Payday the Heist version of First World Bank imported into Payday 2 and made better. There's also a new version of Overkill for those of you guys that just hate your lives and want to wait an hour for a shit show like that to finish. I did it once and never again because that shit was boring. Anyways, tackle the heist loud or stealth, it doesn't matter. This heist has a little bit of randomness to it, such as with the placement of the bank manager or the correct computer that you need to hack in stealth. There's something about bank heists in Payday 2 that just feels so right, and this one is a bank heist and one of the good ones. Number 4, we have the Diamond. As a stealth heist, the Diamond is just kind of okay. The goal is to break into this lovely museum and steal some precious artifacts. The main item, though, is, well, the Diamond, a special and one-of-a-kind stone that is worth a shitload of money. On Death Wish Solo, this heist is a lot of fun and presents a nice challenge for you sneaky bastards. On Loud, the small map combined with the fast spawn rate of cops means that there are no shortage of enemies to kill. If this list was only about Loud heists, then the Diamond would be farther up and probably like my second favorite heist. Try this one Loud on Death Wish and you can thank me later. Plus the payout for this one's pretty good. At number 3, we have Beneath the Mountain. The second heist in the Point Break DLC, you are tasked by Locke with breaking into a secret murky water facility and stealing a handful of valuables, including a prototype, something or another, a painting, and some other cool stuff. This is another heist that is a lot of fun and a great challenge on Death Wish, as you'll need to move fast if you want to not get completely overrun. The escape is also unique as well, tasking you with moving bags into the helicopter, destroying some radar dishes, and then refueling the chopper and flying off. The unique setting for this heist combined with the difficulty make this one my number 3 pick. Alright guys, we're getting closer to the end here. At number 2, we have Big Bank, the true bank heist of Payday 2 as far as I'm concerned. I absolutely love heists that allow the players to complete the mission in multiple ways, whether it's through buyable assets, the randomness of the heist itself, or just simply having different routes baked into it. These are the things that make a good heist into a great one in my opinion. Big Bank allows you to pick several different ways to get the loot out, whether you go in loud or sneaky beaky like. Even better, this heist rewards a team that can coordinate and work together, especially on Loud. One player can zipline up to drop the pig, which contains the drill parts. One can open security and use the computer to trigger the other computers, which allows the third player to hack into it. And the fourth player can either provide cover or start the rewire process on the roof. It's such a cool thing because a really well coordinated team that works together can get through this intro part so much quicker and so much easier. In the vault, there are tons of bags and loot to move, and while it is kind of a pain to move a bunch of bags, it gives you a sense of scale and makes you really feel like you are knocking off a big bank. Before I get to my number 1 pick, I want to give a quick and honorable mention to Lab Rats. While I really appreciate the unique nature of this heist and the fact that it basically takes place on the meth lab table in the Rats mission, it's not really one that I enjoy doing. It's just one that I look at and I'm like, holy shit, that's a cool heist. But not one that it's really a lot of fun for me to play on. It's also kind of hard because people just have a hard time with this one because they don't know colors that well, and you have to know colors if you want to do this heist, so yeah, that's kind of a problem with this one too, if you decide to do it. But anyways guys, moving into my number 1 pick, my favorite heist in Payday 2 is Shadow Raid. The first stealth-only heist and one of only 2 in the game, Shadow Raid takes everything that makes a good heist into a great one and just blows out of the fucking water. Let's start with the background. This heist tasks the Payday crew with stealing some samurai armor from a murky water warehouse. The armor is worth, you guessed it, a lot of cash. There's also a ton of bags and loot to move, with each difficulty increasing the number of bags you need to steal in order to successfully trigger an escape. One mistake though and the alarm trips and you have only a minute to either secure your last minute loot and scurry the fuck off, or just get the hell out and drop whatever you have. There are lots of reasons why this, in my opinion, is the perfect heist. First off, there's so many ways to get in and begin the heist. Go over the top and into the yard, try the front door, go up the ladder and jump across, go around the back and through the back door, go around through the back and into the sewer, or make your way into the sewer from the main street. There's so many entry points and thus so many ways to get in, start, and complete the heist. This heist challenges you to utilize all of your own skills as well as the best stealth skills that you can get. Your first few times through this and maybe subsequent attempts will instill a sense of tension in you. One small fuck up, one little mistake, one alarm, and you'll have a minute to clear out the map or lose. Bring some friends on this heist with you and you'll find out real quick which ones know how to stealth in this game and which ones do not. Hell, you might just be the weakest link in that regard. Want a fun challenge? Do this one solo on Death Wish. It's a lot of fun. And with that, we've come to the end of my top 10 Payday 2 heist list. Now, don't get me wrong, there's other heists that I enjoy doing as well, but I just couldn't really put them in that top 10 category. Rats is one that I love doing, but again, didn't really get the nod in this list. Election Day is also a heist that I like a lot, but yeah, these are just the 10 that I really love doing the most, and hopefully you guys like these ones too. If you don't, let me know what kind of your favorite heists are. I'd be kind of curious to know what those would be. But this is Hoxton Good Time Gaming. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share if you like anything you saw today. And remember to always have a good time gaming.